ESPN News, breaking up is hard to do. Could the D-Rays find a way to say oh no to Tim Wakefield's no-no?
Lansing is headed out. In comes O'Leary, and he makes the catch! Troy O'Leary has saved the no-hitter!
Barry needs to break off just 2 more homers to break a record before the break. Don't worry, we'll break it down. The K count is always up when the unit is on. How many Dodgers would he ring up? And in his last 3 games, Sammy's hit 4. Would he get more? You will if you stick around for this edition of ESPN News.
From ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, this is ESPN News.
Hello and welcome into more ESPN News. Stan Barrett here along with Keith Russell.
It was a day of the long ball in the major leagues. Get to that in a minute, but first this update from Michael Kemp. All right, thank you guys. Thanksgiving, turkey, and Tiger Woods. Expect to see the world's #1 golfer back in the annual Skins game as part of a new endorsement deal with Disney. The agreement requires Tiger to appear at a number of televised golf exhibitions to be carried on Disney-owned ABC Sports and ESPN. Tiger, by the way, has played the Skins game twice, finishing 3rd in both '96 and '97. Well, today Tiger took part in the Pro-Am portion of the Buick Open at Westchester Country Club in suburban New York, getting ready for this weekend's Buick Open there. Tiger, after losing a major tournament for the first time in 5 tries, well, how does he feel about his game going into this weekend's event? One way to find out is to watch Tiger's news conference from Westchester right here on ESPN News. We'll bring that to you about 12:45 Eastern. Some surprising comments today from Wang Zhuzhu, the first NBA player from China, who said he may not be returning to the Dallas Mavericks. The 7-footer said negotiations are continuing between his former team in Beijing and the Mavs, but an NBA official said the league has no reason to believe Wang won't be back for his first full season. Meanwhile, Darvin Ham is staying put. The 6'7" forward used a 1-year option to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks. Ham played just 29 games last season, missing much of the season with a broken left foot. In hockey news, will Dallas take a shot at JR? Could happen. The Fort Worth Star-Telegram reports the Phoenix forward has ruled out re-signing with the Coyotes and will become an unrestricted free agent July 1st. Other possible teams for Jeremy Roenick: LA, Philly, and Detroit. Coming up after nearly 5 hours, 19 runs, 13 pitches, and 420 pitches, A.J. Brzezinski had cause for celebration. If only he wasn't so exhausted.
A typical car.
Giants and Padres from San Diego.
2-1 pitch.
Top of the 5th, 1-0 Giants. Bonds taking Adam Eaton deep to right field. The ball bounces back into the field of play. But Bonds says, hey, it's a home run. Dusty Baker comes out to argue. Bonds said it cleared the wall. Take another look at it. The ball appears to glance off the sign above the wall and right for a home run. Bonds rounds the bases. Indeed, it's his 37th home run of the year. 3-0 Giants. Bottom of the 9th, Padres down 3-1. Men on 2nd and 3rd. Mark Kotze singles to the right side of the infield. 2-run score. We're tied at 3. We go to extras. Top of the 14th, Jeff Kent. Cesar Crespo drops the ball. He fires the second to get the force out. Chris Gomez fires home to get Rich Aurelia at the plate. Score remains tied at 3. Bottom of the 15th, bases loaded for the Padres. Mike Colangelo, slow roller to short. Aurelia, not the throw he wanted to make. And the Padres win it 4-3 in 15 innings. So San Francisco's season-best 6-game win streak is snapped. San Diego gets back-to-back wins for the first time since May 23rd and 24th, and just their 2nd win in 35 games when scoring 4 runs or fewer. Back to Bonds, his 37th home run ties him with Mark McGwire and Reggie Jackson for the most ever before the All-Star break. He's still got 18 more games to play before the break. He hit his 37th in his 70th game. That's well ahead of McGwire's pace in '98. He hit his 37th in his 81st game. Austin and Tampa Bay getting together at Tropicana Field. Top of the 4th, no score. Manny Ramirez on 3rd. Brian Dahlback at the plate. Randy Wynn waiting for the ball to come down. And waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and finally he fakes a throw. But you see the ball stuck up in the ceiling. Dahlback says, well, I'm going to keep running. He goes to 3rd. Ramirez scores. Ball would eventually drop. Hal McRae says, what's going on here? Umpires ruled that the ball was live. Dahlback giving a ground rule double. Boston up 1-0. Tim Wakefield cruising, facing Wynn in the bottom of the sixth. He goes down swinging, ball gets away, but Scott Hatterberg says, don't worry, I got it. Wakefield, a no-hitter through 6. Top of the 8th, no-hitter intact. Hideo Nomo, he's got one earlier this year. David Cohn, he had a no-hitter. In fact, a perfect game with the Yankees. Bottom of the 8th, Wakefield gets Mike DeFelice. He's got 8 strikeouts. No-hitter still intact. He had retired 17 straight. Following a walk, Damian rolls to Troy O'Leary. That's the way you help your teammate out. No-hitter intact through 8. Take another look at it. O'Leary comes sliding in to save Wakefield. So now Wakefield ready to go for the 9th inning. He's got a 5-0 lead, 3 outs away from his first no-hitter. First batter, Jason Tyner. Tyner sends one to second. Jose Offerman got it, no problem, right? Wrong. High throw pulls Brian Dahlback off the bag, so Tyner's safe. The only question, was it a hit or an error? Take another look at it. Offerman's throw is high. Blame it on the throw. It's an error, so the no-hitter intact. Next batter, Randy Wynn.
1-2 the count and the pitch.
Base hit. That ends the no-hitter in the 9th. Tyner would score from second. No-hitter's gone. Shutout is gone. It's a 5-1 game. Wakefield faced 2 more batters, then he would leave the game. Pulled after 8 in the 3rd. He tipped his hat to the Tampa fans. He leaves with a 5-1 lead. Derek Lowe came on in relief, facing Steve Cox with 2 on and 2 out. D-Ray's down 5-2, but Fred McGriff and Aubrey Huff will score here. Cox winds up with a double. It's a 5-4 ball game, so now Boston would just like to get out of there with a win. Russ Johnson pinch hitting now, tying run on second. And Johnson to Offerman. This time he makes the play. Wakefield and the Red Sox hang on to win it 5-4. Lowe gets his 11th save as the Red Sox beat the Rays for the 7th straight time this season. Wakefield doesn't get the no-no, but he gets the win and the 8 hitless innings, a single-game career best for him. He had 2 no-hit bids broken up in the 8th in 1995. Afterwards, Wakefield said he got some perspective from David Cohn.
I met Coney and down in the tunnel. He goes, man, no reason to be disappointed tonight. I said, well, I'm more emotionally and mentally drained than anything else. After the 5th inning, I kind of thought about it, but I tried to clear my head and just try to get outs. And after the 8th, you got a standing O walking off the field, and then a standing O when I took the mound again in the 9th. I knew what was going on then.
It's the second time in the last 11 months that the Devil Rays were almost no-hit by the Red Sox. Wakefield on Tuesday and Pedro Martinez last August, both broken up in the 9th, so the D-Rays still have not been no-hit, and there's never been one at Tropicana Field. We mentioned Pedro. He will make his next scheduled start against the Rays Thursday night. He missed 1 start on Friday against the Braves with tendonitis in his right shoulder, but got a clean bill of health after a strong bullpen session Sunday in Atlanta. He leads the majors with a 2.01 ERA.
Over in the AL Central, Twins just a half game in front of the Tribe. Both teams had lost 4 straight. Top 4, 2-0 Twins. Bartolo Colon facing Brian Buchanan. That's a battle won by Buchanan. His 5th. 2 teams combined for 34 hits. Buchanan had 4 of those. Bottom 8, Indians down 6-2. Ellis Burks takes Eric Milton deep. Milton gave up 3 homers. Burks, 2nd of the night. Earlier, he became the 17th active player to hit 300 in a career. Bottom 8 still. Indians down 6-5. Kenny Lofton takes Hector Carrasco deep. His first. The Twins' pen gave up 5 earned runs in 4 2/3. Top 9 tied at 7. Men on 1st and 2nd for the Twins. A.J. Pierzynski, sack bunt. Travis Fryman throws the ball by Jim Thome. Christian Guzman comes in. Twins go up 8-7. The Tribe had 3 errors. Minnesota had none. Bottom 9. Indians with the bases loaded. LaTroy Hawkins, you don't want to do this. He walks Kenny Lofton on 4 pitches. That brings in the tying run. We go to extra innings, total of 10 walks. Each side walked 5 times. Top 12, still tied at 8. Twins with runners on the corners. Pierzynski into the right field corner. Torrey Hunter, Buchanan crossed the plate. Twins go up 10-8. Pierzynski had 3 hits. 4 Twins had at least that many. Bottom 12, still 10-8. Ellis Burks again. Make it 10-9. First Indian with 3 homers in a game since Manny Ramirez in August of '99. 10th 3-homer game in the majors this season. Last season there were only 9. Later, Juan Gonzalez, the weak rounder. Twins win 10-9, improving to a major league best 14-6 in 1-run games this season. The Twins 11 extra inning games this season, most in the majors. They're 7-4 in those contests. The opener of the AL Central Clash, a little bit of everything. Pinch hit homer, go ahead bunt single, 12 pitchers used, an ejection, a threat of a thunderstorm, all after the 7th inning.
Wow, you even got the weather forecast in.
I'll tell you what, Bartolo Colon wasn't around for all that. He only lasted 4 1/3. He continues to prove that home field advantage is overrated. He hasn't won at Jacobs Field since April 29th. He allowed 2 more homers against the Twins. He's given up 9 at the Jake this season.
Mariners in Oakland for another wild one. Seattle trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Top of the 7th, tied at 5. John Olerud hits it deep. Billy McMillan just acquired from Detroit Wednesday. First game in Oakland, and he drops the ball. Mark McLemore will score from first. Mariners take the lead 6-5 on the error. McMillan says, it's his glove. One of 2 errors for Oakland. Bottom of the 8th, game tied at 6. Arthur Rhodes pitching. Johnny Damon hits one up the middle. Jeremy Giambi would be caught at third, but Oakland would take the lead 7-6. Top of the 9th, tied at 7. Jason Isringhausen on to Brett Boone, who pops it up. Jeremy Giambi makes the catch. He'll throw for home. But this one is up the line. McLemore scores. Mariners win at 8-7 with 5 runs in the final 3 innings to avoid their first 3-game losing streak of the season. Rhodes gave up 2 runs in the 8th, but still got the win to go to 5-0. Kazuhiro Sasaki is 26 save and 29 chances. A's have lost 5 of 6 and 6 of 8 to the M's this season.
AL West to NL West, Randy Johnson gave up his first homer in 61 innings, but he was cruising. He had 8 Ks in all, first time in his last 4 starts. He didn't have at least 10. Top 5.